Welcome to the Sisters Podcast. Back at it again for another episode. Shout out to everyone that's tuned in right now. I appreciate y'all. And today in the building we got my good friend Keyonni. Keyonni, what's going on?
What's up? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
So Keyonni is a friend of mine. We've been friends since high school. I feel like I've known you even before high school. Like some type of way. It was like I feel like the basketball community is just so small. We have seen each other in passing before, but it's been one of my really good friends since high school, and I'm so glad to have her on the podcast today. So let's give a warm welcome to Keyonni. Thank you for committing to be on my podcast. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, no problem. So you already know how we rock as far as like questions. So I'm gonna start off with a couple different questions for you, just to break the ice, get it going.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. We're going chips. Okay. So we already know we're going chips. Starting at the top. All right. So we're going blue Doritos, blue bag of Doritos, or sour cream and onion.
Yeah, that's hard. I don't want my breakfast thing, so I'm gonna do blue Doritos.
I'm so glad you did that. Because sour cream and onion chips is nasty. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but
they're not nasty, but
I'm not a fan.
I like them.
Yeah,
I do.
I think it's the part of having my breath stinking. I can't.
I have a story about chips, I gotta say. So the other day, this patient brought me chips, right? She brought me pretzels, which alright, cool. Then she brought me Fritos.
Fritos?
I said I'm not eating these.
We don't eat corn chips.
Like that's like the worst
that's
chips
the
ever.
Worst. Like I'll eat sour cream and onion chips.
You know how you buy the variety box? I feel like she probably had that in her house.
And it was the last one. Nobody wanted them, so she passed them out to you. That's foul too.
Yeah, I threw them out.
Yeah. I would have opened them and poured them right out. Like, no. Alright, honey barbecue chips or salt and vinegar?
Oh. I'm gonna do the honey barbecue.
Thank you, Keyonni. That's why I knew I could count on you.
Honey barbecue.
I just can't.
Definitely.
Like,
Definitely
you gotta go honey barbecue.
That's salt and vinegar making your mouth a little.
It's just.
Like, I don't know. It does something to your mouth. Makes your mouth sore or something.
Makes your mouth
like if you eat too much.
No, on the side, like your lips start feeling the same way. Yeah, no, I'm good. All right, last one. Cheese doodles. The cheese doodles in a green bag, or the cheese doodles crunchy in the blue bag. The skinny cheese doodles or the O's?
The skinny.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the skinny.
That's a tough one. I feel like that's the toughest one out of all three because...
You know what I do? I like the puffies.
Really?
Those are fire.
Like in the red bag?
Yeah. Those go crazy.
I haven't had those since we was getting 50 cent drinks off the corner store. Bro, I can't.
Those are fire. I like those.
I like the cheese O's because there's always a good amount of flavor at the bottom of the bag.
There is.
Like you can always go back to the bottom of the bag.
There really is.
Yeah,
those were good. I thought you were gonna ask me to rank my chips in order.
We can do that too.
No, I'm scared.
Yeah. Cause you already know. Nah, go top three. It's okay. I just can't do the sour cream onion. My friends know that. I can't do that.
I really like the honey barbecue lays.
Okay.
Can I throw Pringles in there?
That's a chip. I guess.
Alright, I like the pizza Pringles.
Yo, you sure do. We tear those shits up.
Pizza Pringles, and oh my god, this goes crazy. It's like, I don't know the brand, but it's they have it like at the corner store by UB. But it's the hot flaming like popcorn.
Oh, yeah. You talking about is it Wachusett?
I don't know.
No,
I have no idea.
Like it's in the red bag, right? Yeah. Those are good. Those are good. Okay. I'll give you a 2 out of 3. We can go there. That's fine. I think for me, blue bag of Doritos gotta be up there. Like that's one for sure. I gotta go honey barbecue. And the third one, I like a good Funyun. I like Funyuns. The onion rings,
they're good.
Yeah, they got I feel like I'm missing one, but those
Me too,
I think those are up there. I'll say that. That's my I'm okay with that.
Funyuns are alright. I'll give you that.
Yeah, but you know what's really fire? The cheese balls. They come in, they be having them at BJ's. They got like the big container and it's like small circles. Like, those are good. I'll eat those.
I don't know what brand that is.
Me neither, but they slap every time.
Having like the cylinder, like the plastic.
Yep. Yeah. They slap every time. That's funny. Alright, now, it's not as bad as a couple people been in here because some people been throwing me off with some crazy stuff, but you solid. So, alright, we gonna get right into it. Key, if for those of you who do not know, Keyonni is a physical therapist. She did her time in PT school. She was a student athlete as well, so she got a lot of tools and a lot of knowledge to help us out today. So we're gonna just start from the jump. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and your journey to led you to now? As far as like high school, college athlete, and
I'm old.
right. I'm like big, like you don't have to go into specifics or anything, but.
Alright, so my name is Keyonni. I'm supposed to live here or there?
You live here.
Alright. Name is Keyonni. I'm from Bridgeport, Connecticut. And like you said, I'm a physical therapist. I'm also a strength coach. And what led me to becoming all of that was like in school, we would play basketball. Mm-hmm. And then I remember in high school, specifically, remember Miss Blackwood?
Yep.
Alright, so she taught this class. It was human biology or something. Did you take that class?
I honestly didn't have Miss Blackwood, but...
Well, she had us, I think Kayla was in my class, mm-hmm. but we took, we had to do this like skeleton project, and you had to put like muscles. We used Play-Doh. We had to like put outline on the organs and muscles and stuff. And by the end of the semester, you would have like a skeleton. So that made me interested in like science and like not medicine, but like health.
Right.
So then I was like, I'm gonna combine my interests with sports and make a career out of it. Mm-hmm. So then I was looking at like going to med school because it sounds cool to be a doctor. Right. Then I was like athletic training, something with sports, but also in healthcare. Right. So then when it's time to apply to school, I was like, I don't know what I want to major in, but I'm going to keep my options open and do something more broad. So applied to all these schools. I really wanted to go to Delaware State, but it was like way too expensive to go there. Mm-hmm. So my mom was like, you're going to UB. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to UB. So she scheduled me a tour at UB. Mm-hmm. I did it, and I was like, it was pretty cool. Like, it looked like a whole different like side of Bridgeport. Like,
right.
Once you get there.
No, it really does.
Once you get there, it's pretty nice. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. So went to UB, majored in health science. I still want to play basketball, so I hit up the coach and I was like, when it's tryouts, like I want to walk on. And she's like, yeah, we have the tryouts, but like honestly, usually don't take people, blah, 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 blah. I was like, that's pretty blunt, whatever. I'm still a tryout, like why not? So then made it on the team. So then I met a lot of people with basketball. But then I started to realize that the things that I wanted to do career-wise was kind of conflicting with basketball. Mm-hmm. Basketball wasn't going the way I wanted it to. I feel like I should have at least been getting some playing time, but I wasn't, which is totally fine. Like sometimes things don't work out the way you wanted to. Right. But at a certain point, I was like, I need to figure out what I'm doing with my life after school. I don't want to go to WNBA. I don't want to play overseas. Mm-hmm. So like I need to start figuring things out. So I remember I was going to class and I saw like this. It was kind of like what you have here, but it was like, you know how they have like numbers to call, like job applications? Yeah. So there was a job application for a medical scribe at Bridgeport Hospital. And I was like, oh, that's cool. You could shadow doctors and do all their documentation. And I was like, I'm thinking about med school, so let me do that. So I got the job as a scribe, and it was like the only shift available was like 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. So I told my coach, and I was like, I'm gonna have to quit. So I ended up quitting basketball. This was I think junior year. So I quit basketball, and then I did that, and I realized I didn't like what doctors did. I feel like when you go to the ED, you wait forever, see a doctor for like 10 minutes, and then they just be like, oh, you pulled a muscle, or you did this or that. If it's not something serious, they just prescribe you medication, and you go on about your day. Right. Then I was like, I don't really want to do that. I want something more personable, something I can still like work with athletes. And really see like somebody progress from not being able to do something and working with them, bringing them to where they want to be. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I spent a lot of time in the athletic training room as a basketball player. Yeah. So then I was also like, but they're always with us. for like practices, games, all that. I'm like, so they have no life. I was like, I don't want that. So I would cross that off the list. And then I was like, oh, PA sounds cool, a physician assistant. But then I was like, but then again, they kind of serve as a doctor. You don't really get to know your patients. You're more like seeing them every couple of months. So then I'm like, let me look into PT. So then I shadowed a physical therapist. And I was like, oh, this sounds pretty cool because there's like so many things you could do. You could work in a hospital, you could work in gyms, you could work with a sports team, you could work for the NBA. So I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. So I already had all the prereqs. So then I started to apply to schools, and then I got in, and I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. So then I remember I graduated like May 5th. And I ended up going to University of Hartford. They were starting on June 5th, and I'm like, damn, I need a break from school. My mom was like, you're going to school, you're not taking a break. Like, if you take a break, you're not going to go to school. And now looking back on it, if I would have took a break, I was not going back. Because you just get in the flow of things, and it's easy to just push stuff off. Yep. So I ended up going to school in University of Hartford. And then I was like, I want to document my physical therapy journey because I feel like there's not a lot of minority physical therapists. I feel like a lot of people don't know what PTs do. And then also I just want to do it for my own enjoyment because it's a long ass time in school. Right. Sorry, I cursed. It's a long time in school. So I started to do that. And I was like, let me think of a name for my Instagram page. And I always like to play off my name. So like one of my Instagram pages is like Keep It 100 and it's spelled KUIP. And then I was like, let me do something related to like fitness and exercise. So that's how I come up with Keep It Fit. And then
hold on, let me move my dress real quick because you already know Keep It Fit.
That logo is dope.
Yo, it is dope. I love this shirt. Like first of all, the fitting is amazing. I got this at least.
That was 4 years ago.
Yeah, I was about to say a good 4 or 5 years ago, and it still fits good. So material is 100. So if you guys need to get her merch, I will put her link in the bio so you can buy that for sure.
Yeah, so that's how Keep It Fit came about. So then I started at the time, because when I had quit basketball, I was like, it was my junior year, and then I was like, I'm just gonna work and then just enjoy like my last year of college. So I wasn't working out as much, and I didn't have that structure that you get from being a student athlete. Like go to practice at 4 a.m., go to class, and then come back for a night lift or whatever. And then I wasn't really working out, so I gained a lot of weight. And then I was kind of like self-conscious. I feel like if you're going into healthcare, I feel like you have to be, at least as a physical therapist, you have, in the field I work in sports rehab, so you have to be able to demonstrate things. You have to be able to look apart because people are going to be like, how you going to help me? Like, let's be real. People are always like, oh, that's not true, but it's true. Like, perception is everything. So I felt some like kind of way about that. So going into PT school, it was like, I'm going to apply everything I learned in PT school to like my own exercise journey. That'll one, help me learn it more, learn it better. And then when I get out of school, like who knows where that'll take me. So that's how Keep It Fit came about, and that's kind of what I did with it. And then I was posting consistently, and then people would ask me like to help them. And I was like, I can turn this into some sort of, money-making thing. Business. So that's how that came about. And then now that I'm out of physical therapy school and I'm working, I wanted to kind of build off of Keep It Fit, and that's how I got lifting for women, which is this. So what I do with that is I think that the reason I call it lifting for women specifically, I feel like it's a very specific name. Like, it's not like weightlifting, it's not strength training. It's lifting specifically because I feel like women, females in general, are always told, like, don't lift too heavy, you're going to get hurt. Or you're going to look like a man if you lift, and all these things. I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions. And I'm like a against the grain type of person, so I really think that women should be lifting weights, they should be in the gym, and they should be like doing things that make them feel empowered and like going against the grain. So that's how.
And I feel like that's one thing I really appreciated about you is that like you're not doing it for the money, you're not doing it for the clout or anything. Like you're literally doing it because like you understand how women feel, and you were put into situations where you didn't like how they were treating women in general, and like you're like, I need to help other women out. So like that's another reason why I wanted you on here. Because a lot of people need to hear your story, but a lot of people also may need your help. So it's like, if you guys are experiencing anything or have any questions or something like that, they can literally go back to you and ask you different things. Even when I was at Putnam and I was going through my injury, I was messaging you, asking you for workout plans and stuff like that, and like you sent them to me faithfully. Like I really did appreciate that, because it's like sometimes you don't really know what to do specifically for a specific part of your body. So for me, I tore my ACL. I sprained my MCL, ACL, and meniscus all in one shot my senior year of college. Sat out that year. The following year, played at Post University. Was doing pretty well until my knee swelled up out of nowhere. And they told me that I had a tear in my femur cartilage, which ended up getting worse because I kept playing and the time didn't realize that was going to mess me up. And I'm pretty sure I tore my ACL about 2 weeks later. But I sat out 9 games and I went back to playing. And I wasn't 100%, but it's like when you're in that mode of like just going back to, I already sat out a whole year, didn't want to play, I'll sit out again. I'm like, I'm going to play.
Yeah.
I'm not understanding how that affected my body. So when I went in for the microfracture surgery and they told me that I tore my ACL, I had to go back for surgery 2 weeks later. And it's like, I feel like my knee still hasn't fully recovered since then, but the things that you sent me helped me to like work on specific part of strengthening my knee and strengthening my calves. My quads that I might not have gotten from someone else, or the doctor might not. They would have told me, but I would have had to go in and get billed and charged for something that they told me in 10 minutes. So I really do appreciate that for helping me out with that.
No problem.
But I feel like we all got to go through it to understand what we shouldn't do as far as like the effects that we have on our body that we're not taught. So just the simple fact of you having Miss Blackwood's class and that influencing you to learn more about the human body, and not only learn more about the human body, but help others to learn more about their human body. It goes a long way, and it shows a lot about your heart too, because like I said, you're not just doing it for the money. So that's tough.
Thank you.
That's what's up. And so, you talked about the different things that you didn't want to do as far as like honing in on becoming a physical therapist. So now that you're in PT,
I could talk for hours.
Right. Now that you're here, like, have you figured out a work-life balance yet? Like, are you in the process of trying to figure that out? Like, what's next? Because, like you said, you went through the phases to get you to where you're at now. But, like, now that you're here, what do you feel like you could change or maybe done differently that you didn't know before?
You know what? That's funny because, like, when I first got out of school and I was doing my business, I feel like I had no type of balance. I was either just going to work and then trying to fit things in on the weekend, and I feel like that wasn't sustainable, so I had to like change my routine then I switched jobs. So I feel like I don't think there's no type of balance. I just feel like it just depends on like what you want to prioritize. For me, my biggest thing right now is building my business, keeping my job.
Yeah.
I'm really not the type of person to like go so far beyond what's required in my job just because of my own aspirations. So obviously I have to keep my job right now. And then, what was the first one I said? I forgot.
What you mean?
So my business, sorry. Yep. My business, my job, health. I really think that now I'm really trying to like dial into like things that are making me feel good. That's why I'm like you see me like trying to cut back down on drinking, because I feel like drinking like really like it doesn't make me a good person, because like if I get too crazy, like I start doing things that I shouldn't be doing. And then also it makes me feel like I'm out of routine. So like just being more in tune with how I'm feeling, and then like maintaining relationships. Those are my 4 big things. Outside of that, I feel like I don't really have much of a capacity for right now, and I feel like as I get older, things may shift. Like I may not put as much emphasis into my business with the goal of building that now, so that I don't like kind of be an autopilot. So I would say that I don't really have a work-life balance right now. I just feel like I'm just doing what I need to like keep myself in like I would call equilibrium.
Right. I feel like that too. First of all, accountability is top of the key. So like you're holding yourself accountable.
Yeah.
But you're also like, you just honed in on 4 different things that like you want to spend your free time focusing on.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the work-life balance might not be what you expected it to be when people say like the work-life balance, but you're still capitalizing on the stuff that you want to take note of, and you know, in this chapter of your, you know, this season of your life right now. So it's like, I feel like when we were young, there was just like, when we hear work-life balance, we think like we work, we come home, and we don't do nothing. Like the world stops and that's it. But it's like, at the end of the day, as we get older, we realize that that's not realistic.
No, it's not.
It's not realistic at all. So you have to find the things that make you happy and the things that you want to capitalize in your life right now, and make sure that you're taking care of that. So it's like, you gotta give yourself a little bit of grace because you're working on yourself outside of work.
But it's not what I would have pictured. Right. Like in PT school, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have a job. I'm gonna be able to like do more like fun things that I enjoy, and I feel like that's not what it is. But you know, you have that all the time. Like when you're younger, you have this vision of how it should be, and then like when you get there, it may not be that exact thing. It's not a bad thing.
Right. It's just a realization. Yeah. Like it's adapting. You got a perspective change. You have to change your mind to like where you are in your life right now for your season. And like for me, like I admire that y'all go on a cruise every year.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like every year, no matter how like, you know, every day is tough. Some days are tougher than others, but like no matter what's going on in your lives, like y'all make it a point to make a family trip. So it's like that's kind of a work-life balance.
You know, people be like, why are you going on trips with your family? I'm like, why not?
Right.
I feel like I'm always gonna prioritize going on a trip with my family. Like even like sometimes my little brother doesn't want to go, I'll still go. Like it just be my mom, my dad, and me.
It's like why not? Right? Like you create memories and like. You like sometimes we take advantage of the small things. It's like you're spending time with your family in another country or another state. Like you can make so many memories that like, you know, you're gonna go back to work tomorrow and you know, just every day is gonna be the same. So like, why not go out there and make those?
So like, it's not like a crazy turn up, but like I still enjoy doing it. But that's one thing about me. I always told my mom like, you can always count me in for a vacation. Yeah. I don't care who else. If it's just me, you, dad, I'm going. I don't care.
No, facts. Why not?
Why not? That's how I feel.
You gotta live when you can.
So yeah, and I also think traveling brings perspective. Definitely brings perspective because yes, you always got the side where you go to like stories about what to Cuba before like COVID started. That was eye opening because they like are struggling over there. Like something that they'll charge us $2 for. If you're a native from there, they get taxed like $10, and like that makes no sense. Like they're limited to a certain amount of chicken per month, rice per month, and like we come there and we eat good. It was just like very like eye opening. But then you can go to a different country that's like very wealthy, and that inspires you. Right. So I feel like you get both sides of the coin traveling. So that's what I like about traveling.
I love traveling. Like it's the best feeling, and even like, you know, even with me. You know, being in the same conference for the past 2 years, like our non-conference games, for the most part, change. So like we're going to different places outside of our conference game, but even in conference, like there's so many cities that we pass by and we stay for a little bit that I would never have.
Never go to.
I would never even know their names. Like I went recruiting this weekend and I went recruiting this summer, and we were at Spooky Nook now. Right, it's in Pennsylvania. Spooky Nook, Pennsylvania.
Spooky Nook?
So, like, that was the name of the tournament.
It's crazy.
And where we stayed at, I want to say it was Lancaster. But it was so cute. Like, their downtown area was like, you know, I'm big on that. Like if I go out, you know, somewhere with the team or whatever, I want to make sure that I explore the city a little bit just to see like what's going on around. And I'm like, I look at it in 2 ways. One, we're from Bridgeport, and unfortunately, there's a lot of people from where we come from that never even got the chance to leave the city. So it's like if I have the opportunity that's given in front of my face, I need to take advantage of those opportunities, those moments. So I will just walk around the city by myself and just look at the stores and just look at like the people that's around and kind of have conversations. And then you like eventually, hopefully, I can take my kids there. You know what I'm saying? I can take my family there and show them different parts in different places. And I was on my first plane at 2 months old with my grandmother.
Yeah.
And I love that story, even though I don't remember it, because to this day I love traveling. Like, love hopping on planes. I love going to see other places around. But like I said, it's more for me. Like everybody don't get these opportunities, so let me take advantage of like what's in front of me. Be grateful, have some gratitude. But it also shows me that I don't want to live in Connecticut.
Really?
No, I do not.
I feel like go ahead.
I'm like. There's so much out there. There's so many better places to live, in my opinion, than Connecticut. We get taxed OD.
We do. Like,
OD. And I'm not going to say that, like, other states, other cities, like, they have their ups and downs. Like, every place has their pros and cons. But I've been to so many places to know that Connecticut's not home. And that's just me personally. So.
Yeah. I feel like my ideal situation, I like Connecticut in terms of, like, proximity to New York, because that's where my family's from. But I don't want to live in New York, so I feel like Connecticut is right there. Outside of, I feel like Bridgeport's on the come up. But my ideal situation would be like to split my time, because I hate winter. Like right now, I'm miserable.
Right.
Like it hasn't even snowed. It hasn't snowed yet, and I'm like.
So you want to go somewhere?
Like I would like to split my time.
Right. So you would go to Florida for the winter and come back for the summer.
Yeah, but not. I wouldn't necessarily want to be in Bridgeport because I just want more land.
Right.
But I do like Southern Connecticut just because one, I feel like houses are it is expensive, but I feel like some of the houses are nice. I feel like you get a lot of land.
Yep.
And I can still be close to New York City. If I didn't have that family there, would I want to live in Connecticut? I don't know. I don't think so. But if I could split my time, that would be the most ideal situation.
Nah, that's not bad either. That's definitely not bad. I think once you start to think about family and like as we get older, because like now these are the things that we're thinking about. Like I wouldn't want to have my kids going back and forth, but it's crazy that like we got to think about that stuff now. Because I'm the type of person that like I like to be prepared, and I feel like that's a little bit part of my problems because there's a lot of things that I may not, you can't control and I'm not going to be prepared for. Sometimes you just got to take the risk for the reward. But I feel like as far as like family and kids and stuff like that, I'm thinking about my family and my kids now, even before they're even here.
Yeah.
Rather than waiting for me to be pregnant and I got to scramble and figure out what to go, next now. But it's like, you kind of have to have that perspective of thinking about it now rather than later.
Yeah.
So you know, like,
living proactively instead of reactively,
Right.
Boom.
Right.
That's a bar.
That is a bar. I was like, dang, yo, you took the words right out of my mouth. That is definitely a bar. Yeah, like, enough of this kids talk, because we talking like they come tomorrow, so no.
I don't know. I feel like, so my birthday wasn't too long ago, and I feel like for men it's different, but for women, as soon as you start approaching like 30, you're expected to have this solid relationship, you're expected to have kids, like, I don't know if I'm selfish or what, but I just feel like I have so many more things that I want to accomplish before I even think about any of that.
Right.
And
I don't think it's selfish. It's not selfish. You're like prioritizing what you think is the best thing for you right now.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's selfish.
People are like 30, you're supposed to be having we're looking for like 34.
Right. I feel like that was the mindset when we were in high school. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't know what we were about to be prepared for in our 20s. So when we were in high school, we were like, 25, I'm going to be married. I'm not having No. Like, I think once I got into college, like you said, you had that realization, like, I'm not going to the WNBA. I'm not playing overseas. Like, what's next for me? Like, there has to be a switch where you start to think differently and you start to, like, applying things different, especially when you learn from when you're younger. But, for me, personally, I feel like the 30s is where we thought we were going to be in our 20s.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't think so either.
Like, there's, like, because you're more prepared. like, you know more in your 30s than you did in your 20s. You think you got it all figured out then, but we were just, like, reaching certain points of, like, you know, where life's going to take us. So it's like, you definitely start to think about things differently. You know, even me about to be 29, like, I feel a lot better now than I did when I was 21.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
definitely.
saying? And even 25,
Mm-hmm.
even 27, like, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, there was a learning process that needed to happen all the, like, in my 20s that, like, now I'm like, all right, now I'm thinking a little differently. Like, how can we move?
More clarity.
Like, right, more clarity. Like, how can we direct? And it's like, it's not that we're trying to control our lives, because God's the only one that has control over what happens next. But, like, if we can start to think differently, we can make better decisions for us and our family moving forward now. So I don't think you're being selfish at all. I think, like, you just turned 28, right? 27. Okay, so like,
Still, that's late 20s.
I know it is late 20s, but it's like you still got 3 years till you reach 30, and it's like. There's a lot of things within these next 2 years that you're gonna find more clarity and more, knowledge that's gonna change your mind from them. But it's like, I don't think you're being selfish. Like, that's the problem too, because I feel like we see a lot of people now, and there's nothing wrong. Like, if you had a kid in 20s and you got married in 20s, there's nothing wrong with that. That's your journey. It's okay. Like, but it's like, we see a lot of people now who are married, who are having kids, who we went to high school, like, we know who we graduated with in college, and it's like, some people will start to be like, dang, like, I'm missing out on my opportunities, my man, or my girl, like, I ain't, like, but it's a process. It takes time. Like, everybody has their own journey, everybody has their own timeline. Like, I'm not about to rush and find someone to marry in my 30s. If it happens, it happens. Like, it's just, but I don't think you're being selfish. I think it's like everything happens in the right time, in the right season. And I think sometimes that social media allows us to feel like we're not where we're supposed to be, and we're behind. Yeah. And like, dang, these people have been together for 5 years. We don't know their story outside of social media. They posted pictures and everything is good from what we see, but we don't know. We don't know. Like, we don't know what they're going through. And there's nothing wrong with that, because no relationship is perfect. But it's like, we gotta stop comparing and contrasting. Like, our time's gonna come when it's gonna come. Yeah. That's how I sleep good at night. Like, I'm just like, I ain't thinking about none of that right now. Like, I'm not. When it happens, it happens. The right person for me is gonna be for me. That's how I see it. So, it's crazy, but that's just how it goes. My next question for you is, how has your journey with, like, PT and, like, your health and stuff like that, like, how has that helped you discover who you are outside of, like, school and work and stuff like that?
How has PT school and
just like
sorry, I'm late.
No, you're fine. It's like, how has, like, your journey of, like, you learning more about your health, like, in PT school, like, seeing behind the scenes of, like, what goes on in offices and stuff like that, like, how does that help you personally grow throughout the years? Like,
so I think going to PT school in Hartford was good, because I got to live by myself, so that kind of forced me to be more of a adult, I guess. Like, I feel like I was always, like, very independent, but that forced me to be more of an adult, and that forced me to kind of learn the things that work for me. I feel like because grad school, PT school specifically, is so structured, like, I was able to get into, like, a very good routine. I learned that I like slow mornings. I do like to, like, have a lot of time to myself. I feel like in school, everybody is, like, trying to, like, study together and do things that everybody else is doing. Like, I kind of already knew this about myself, but this solidified it. Like, I like to do things on my own pace. And then that really taught me more so, like, I value a lot, like, being authentic and, like, just doing the stuff that makes me happy. So in school, I feel like it's a lot of competition. Like, everybody wants the best grades. Yeah. Everybody wants to appease to the teachers. I genuinely didn't care about any of that. Like, I tried to, but I was like, I really don't care. Like, all I did was I, like, passed classes. I I just felt like I needed to, yes, know the information, but just know it on a very broad level and be able to apply that to like different areas of the field, and then I'll be fine. I wasn't trying to learn every detail, and then I really just put time into bettering myself in the gym. And I feel like the gym is kind of like people see it as like you're just working out and doing it for vanity reasons, but I think it's so much deeper than like getting a nice body or like getting stronger. I feel like when you go to the gym and you do something hard, like you're telling yourself that you can show up and get things done no matter what's going on. It's like it builds a different level of discipline. It builds a different level of like mental toughness. And I feel like that's what has helped me in PT school. So it wasn't really about the school. It was more so about the routine and being around different people that I didn't really want to be like in class. And just knowing what I value on like a day-to-day basis. Because I feel like I could have just went through school and just been all about school, but I didn't do that.
You invested more about within yourself. And like I think that's big too, because even that last sentence you said, like you saw people who you didn't want to be like. I think that just shows like your type of, first of all, that shows, like you said, you've always been independent, but when you're living on your own, it's easy to, it's like you learn about a lot of things that you didn't know, like about yourself and about living in general. But it's like you could have went to school out there and just tried to been like everybody in your class because you wanted to fit in, but like you were okay with standing out, and it still led you to the same place that led them. Y'all got a degree.
I mean, I already stand out, honestly. Like PT is like a white career. Most people are white in PT. Yes, there's becoming more black and minority PTs, but I don't talk proper. That was like one of the things I was always told.
Wow.
Yeah, like I had a clinical rotation, and I had to switch because like I overheard my clinical instructor like talking about me and comparing me to one of my white classmates. Like, we are not the same, obviously. And she was like, she basically was like, oh, I'm afraid to pass on my patients off to her because they just have different upbringings. So I'm like, you know me for 2 weeks, what do you mean different upbringings? Crazy stuff.
Wow.
So there's like stuff like that I feel like, just in general, like, you're not gonna fit in anyways.
Right.
So like,
I
don't try to fit in.
Right.
But like,
behind the scenes, you know that people is talking, but like when you hear it out loud, it's like, wow.
Yeah. So I was like, I gotta get out of there. She was like, yeah, when you come tomorrow, like you're gonna do this. You're gonna do an evaluation on this new patient that's coming in. I'm like, yeah, I prepare. As soon as I got in my car, I called my the person that handles like where you get placed, and I was like, you need to find me a new spot. He said, I'm not going back tomorrow.
We had to change scenery because this conversation getting way too good. But I can't believe that. Yeah, I can't believe she said that.
Like, she thought I didn't hear her. I haven't seen her since though.
Nah.
I know she. And then she told my like one of my instructors at school that handled clinical placement. She was like, I can't be racist. I got 2 adopted black kids. Oh, that makes you more racist.
Right. You thought she was doing something?
Like, come on now. No, I can't say that on the podcast. I have
That's crazy though. But like, it's not about what you did to adopt those black kids. It's about what's in your heart and what's in your mind and what you're saying. Like, you thought you did something because
she told me I was unprofessional like the first week because I was. We had like these rolly carts you put your laptop on because I would have my coffee like sitting there. I'm like, how is that unprofessional?
So she was just trying to nitpick anything.
Were
you the only black girl in the class?
And that you are?
Like in that program, like were you like?
No, it was me and then 2 other people.
So.
But like this is like they'll assign you to a clinic. And then you're with a physical therapist that I was working with, like all my clinical rotations, like we actually treat patients.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to find me a new spot. Like I'm not going back.
That's terrible.
But that was like the best decision ever because then I got placed at like Gaylord Hospital, and then that's when I had like a nice sports med setting. Right. They had like squat racks, equipment. Like that was fun.
Everything worked out.
Everything worked out. But yeah, I'm waiting until I run into her.
Yo, facts. And you gotta show her your little badge, whatever you got, and be like, yo, thank you for motivating me.
Yeah,
because
she
like
pissed me off that day, but
that's crazy. And honestly, that's something you'll never forget which sucks, but I'm pretty sure it motivated you to go even harder, like to prove to her and all those other people around that thought that you wasn't gonna make it, that I could do it and get out of here.
Yeah, just like I didn't even do nothing wrong, but it was fine. I really was just upset for the day, and after that, I was just like, whatever.
That's all we have, though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't stay mad about certain things that we go through because it'll stop us from moving forward. Exactly. So it's kind of like we gotta let it go and move forward, but that doesn't mean that it didn't play the part and affect you. Yeah. But that's true. I'm glad you didn't let that like stop you from staying in PT and graduating and like you know, even becoming a physical therapist now, because like I'm pretty sure where you work it's probably tough as well, but you don't let that stop you from, you know, helping other people. So that's what's up. That's what's up. I appreciate that. And this is the last question I have for you. And you know, feel free to not want to talk about it if you don't want to. But
I'm open.
Okay. I'm pretty sure this conversation is not had a lot, and there's a lot of women who are going through what you're going through right now and will in the future. So explain to other people, not just me, but like about your alopecia and like how long you known you had it and like, you know. Okay,
so I think a lot of women do go through it. So first of all, alopecia, there's like different types of alopecia you can have. I have alopecia, with the alopecia totalis is like total hair loss. And I had that since I was like 6, I think. So like I had like a lot of hair in my head. And then I got chicken pox. I don't think it's from chicken pox, but I got chicken pox. And like a couple months later, I started getting like patches in my hair. And then my hair fell out. And then what happened? Then I would wear like hats and stuff to cover it up. So then I was like 6. I was 6 years old. And then I would go through school like that. That was weird because like, you know, kids are mean.
Right.
Kids are very mean. So like, I think that's where I like developed like tough skin. Like, I think everybody has like they're sensitive to something. So I think when I was younger, it used to bother me when people would like make fun of me. But then I think like 2 years in, I was just like, whatever.
Right.
And then you know my mom, she's like, my mom always had my back. So that was helpful. And then I think when I went to Kobe. I went to a different school freshman year. But I still knew everybody at Kobe. Then when I went to Kobe, it was a Catholic school, and I remember Miss Jacobs is the one that was like, basically like I can't wear a hat or something. She was telling me that.
Oh wow! Jacobs, I did not know that.
Yeah, she was saying that, and my mom was like basically fighting her on it. So I did come to Kobe with like a hat at first, and I always had to get letters every year to give to like whatever conference we was in, to be able to play and stuff.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And then, I think junior year, I was like, I'm gonna wear a wig. And then that's when I started wearing wigs. But then, then I started wearing wigs, and then by then it was just like whatever. But I think when you, like to the eye, don't look the same as everybody, it makes you like have to just be okay with being yourself. So that was a good thing, but at the same time, I felt like I had to go through a lot to even just be comfortable with that.
Right. You had to go through a lot of feelings and stuff too, because you go from where you were wearing a hat that probably made you feel comfortable to be in that position. And then like when you put on a wig, it's like you feel like it's not you. Like you feel like this is not who I am. But I will be the first one to say, like, watching your growth and transformation is like it was beautiful, because like for you, you had to go through a lot to feel comfortable in your skin. And as women, we have to go through a lot to feel comfortable in our skin, but our hair is like one of the most pronoun things that we like to take care of and like appreciate and flaunt. So it's like when you feel like your hair's not done, or your hair's like you feel like you're missing a part of you. So it's like
now I just be like my hair don't look great every day, but I'm also like, I don't care. Like I don't, like girls will put on a hat and have a bad hair day. Like I just don't resonate with that because I don't have hair. Like this is like, I be like, oh, this is weird. People are like, oh, like at work, you know, you deal with stupid comments from white people, or just people in general, but it's mainly white people. They be like, oh, your hair got longer, or you changed your hair color. I'd be like, this ain't my hair.
Yeah.
Maybe like
Right.
But
yeah.
I think I catch them off guard, but I always feel like even when I was younger, I always had to explain myself. Like, people was telling me I have cancer, I'm like, no, I don't have cancer, I have this. Like, I'm always educating people on, like, on stuff. So, it is what it is. But, like, now, I realized that a lot of people have alopecia. Like, I think it's like 24% of the population has some form of alopecia. But it just depends on, like, what kind you have. And I remember I was going to a dermatologist at Yale.
Right.
And then, like, they would always, like, try, like, different medications on you. And I was just, at one point, I was just like, I'm not going back. Because, like, I don't even care. Like, if I was to have hair growing out my head again, I probably would cut it off. Like, be like Cassie and shave half my hair. Like,
right. You're okay with
I'm just okay with that.
And that's, as long as you're good, nothing else matters.
Yeah. So
it's a beautiful process to see because, like I said, we like even looking up at one of those pictures, like you had your cap on, and it's like that was who you are, who you were, in high school, and then you started to transform into how you comfortably feel, and I love that for you. Like even like, girl, wear all different types of wigs. Like whatever makes you feel like how you like makes you feel good. Like that's all that matters. As long as you're good on the inside, what other people gotta say, that's just that does.
But I think that plays like a role in my personality too. Like people will be like I don't know. I think like sometimes people think they can like say certain things to me and like I won't feel that way because I just like let her go with my shoulder. But I think that's just because I've always had to be like that. So I think that plays a part. And then also I don't be expected to fit in a lot of places. So that's why I'm okay with like going somewhere and like being a standout because I felt like I always stood out anyway.
Right. So, do you feel like you had to play the tough role too well? Like, do you feel like you still, like, even though like you were being bullied and like you had that tough skin, like did you like we're women, like we're human first of all, but like we all feel like we're not like we have moments where we feel weak mentally. So like, what did you do to help you through that process? Like, you
said, I feel weak.
Like, did you therapy? Like, talking about it? Like, just being confident? Like,
I think talking about it. I think I was like forced to be confident. I don't think I'm like this huge like confident person because if you put me in like you put me in like a big group of people, I'm probably not gonna be talking a lot. But I'll talk in like small groups. But I feel like I was forced to be confident. I don't think that I think like if you make me feel this type of way, I might like say a couple of mean things, but like I might come back around and tell you like just how it made me feel and like that's it. I won't like just completely hide it. So I don't know if that answers the question.
No, it does. I feel like you didn't. I feel like if you just kept everything in.
Yeah, I don't keep everything in.
You're gonna say what you gotta say. You gotta let it out, and I feel like that's okay. Like that helps you with your process. So you know what I'm saying? It's like if you would just kept your thoughts and your feelings inside, like I feel like you wouldn't be who you are right now. But like you said, like you confidently like let it out. So it's not like you're the most confident person in the world, but you're okay with saying how you feel and what's bothering you and how others made you feel, and then you flip it to you being strong, you being confident. So there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
I think people like nowadays. Last thing, because we're talking about. I think people just have. I guess social media plays a role in this too, but I feel like people place too much of an emphasis on like small things that don't really matter. Like if I developed say I had hair all the way to the point I'm 27, then I developed alopecia. Now I feel like that would probably completely destroy my life just because we're always taught to like look a certain way.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. So
it matters what's on the inside.
That's what I'm saying. So
and people don't understand that.
People don't and I think having alopecia has taught me that. So like I'm just like whatever.
Yep. And that's I love that. I love ending on that too because it's like we can put up a front on social media, we can put up a front at work, we can put up a front with our friends and all this other type of stuff. But if you're not clean on the inside and your heart's not pure, your mind's not right, like all this stuff will not matter. Not matter at all. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You can be the most beautiful person in the world to people.
Yeah.
Like, whoever they think is their celebrity crush, whatever the case may be. But if their heart and their mind is not right, and honestly, that's what drives me with connecting to different people and relationships that I've had. Like, I don't look at people for what they've been through, what they look like on the outside, like all this type of stuff. It's more about your heart, your connection, your love, what you're doing for others, like how you're helping other people have a better day, a better life, like, you know. So I appreciate you for coming up here, sharing your story, your journey, and you know, I know that this story will help other people.
I hope so.
It is. It definitely is. So let's give you a big shout out for real, because like I said, you didn't have to come out here and be as honest and truthful as you are. But I do appreciate that. Yeah. My last thing is, first of all, you got to give me the link. Not give me the link because I already have the link, but tell people who don't have your link, your podcast. Because Keyonni also has her own podcast for people who are in physical therapy and you know, going through that process. So let the people know about your podcast.
So I have 2 podcasts.
Okay.
All right. So first one is Keyonni Audio Experience. That is geared towards yes, physical therapists, but we really wanted to showcase all the other things that you can do outside of being a physical therapist, because we're not one-dimensional. So our big pillars on that podcast is health, growth, lifestyle, overall. Health, wealth, growth. There's another one, I'm blanking. Finances. I don't know. Four pillars. Keyonni Audio Experience, and then I have Lifting for Women Made Simple podcast. And that is for all the ladies who want to learn how to lift weights to achieve the body of their dreams. And then there's also a Lifting for Women community on Facebook. Has over 1,000 members in there. And
I am a part of that group.
You can join for free resources. And I do have a group coaching program going for anybody that joins before the new year. This won't come up before the new year, but there'll definitely be other offers by the time this comes out.
Nice.
So join that. And reach out to me on Instagram. Lifting for Women. Keep it fit. And Keyonni Audio also has a Instagram, which is Keyonni Audio.
And I'll be sure to put all that at the bottom so you guys already know where to follow her. So
thank you.
Oh no, thank you. I appreciate you. So my sisters, as always, I love y'all. I'm here for y'all, and I'm out of here. I'll see y'all soon.
Peace.
Aw, thanks, Key. I appreciate it.
No problem. Health, wealth, lifestyle. Health, wealth, lifestyle, overall growth. That's it.
Health, wealth, lifestyle, overall growth.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Whatever.
You heard it here.